Hi there, my name is Dedo Kofi and welcome to my business lounge. This is the space where I get to share business tips and strategies that have helped me on my entrepreneurial journey. I do this so that you can be inspired and motivated so that you can build your own business. If this is the first time that you are watching me, I want you to know that I like to hear from you. So share your comments and also ask any question at all that you have, and I will do my very best to address it. What I want to share with you is that on this journey, you have to do it even if you are afraid. I'm going to share with you a few things that fear will do to you, which is going to hinder your progress, and that's why you need to do this even if you are afraid. There's so many stories on my entrepreneurial journey, on occasions where I was so afraid, and it's what I call now monster in my mind, because I create so many monsters in my mind when in the end, even when it came to the reality, the problem was not as big as I magnified it. But that is what fear will do to you. It will make you imagine the worst, even when it hasn't happened. And so once you begin to imagine the worst, guess what? It's going to cripple you, and you are not going to be able to do certain things that you need to do the right way. Now, I remember that many years ago, I got a job with one of my clients, and it was a school. It was an international school that I've been working with, and I was so happy that they were my client, and I was making sure that I do everything right by them. So they sent an email, and the email was asking for us to do something which I thought was going to be impossible. And because of that, I was so scared. I was like, this is something that we cannot do. And I wish that there was something that I can do to make sure that this is not the way that we go. And because of the time that I got the email, I kept thinking about this, and I kept imagining the worst. I was wondering what was going to happen with the client. I was imagining that they were not going to work with us again. And so between the evening of the day I got the email to the following morning, you won't believe what happened. I didn't sleep. I was just thinking about this whole thing and wondering what's going to happen, and imagining I'm not going to get my stream of income from this client anymore. I imagined the worst. I couldn't sleep. I woke up. I remember I was watching CNN. I was doing all sorts of things, and just to help me sleep, I couldn't sleep. So I stayed up all night virtually. I had my shower around 5 a.m. and then interestingly, at 7 a.m., the client called, and they called to talk about the email, to look at the what they wanted us to do. And they had a demeanor of someone who wanted to have a conversation to see if this was possible. If it wasn't, they were okay with the alternative. And it was so easy, but look at what happened to me. I didn't sleep the whole night. So guess what? It affected my productivity the next day. The next day, I was so sloppy. I was sleepy. I was tired. And so if I had a meeting at 8 o'clock or 8:30 that morning, I'm not going to be at my best. I'm not going to function the best way that I need to. So that is why I share with you to know that things are going to come your way, and you don't need to let fear cripple you or disable you so that you don't function properly. I share this with you because I want you to understand that there's no point in losing sleep over something that you are actually just imagining. It's not the reality. You should rather deal with the reality of issues. And so what you actually have to do is, when you are faced with a situation that scares you, deal with the reality of the situation. Don't begin to imagine what hasn't happened. What if that? The moment you begin to do that, you start crippling yourself, and you are just not going to function properly. You're not going to be thinking at your best. You're not going to be looking your best. You're not going to be appearing your best. And you will definitely not deliver your best for the period that you are so afraid of something that you are not even sure of what the outcome is going to be. I need you to understand that fear is so unreal. It's just a fiction of our imagination. And that's the way that it would help you to deal with fear when it's coming at you. Fear is very real in the sense that we all get afraid. But the fear itself, fear is actually what we normally fear is something that hasn't happened, that we haven't seen, but we are just imagining what it would be like. And so rather than focus on imagining what it would be like, focus on what is happening, the reality of now. The fact that now you have an issue to solve. What can you do about it? Is there something I can do? Yes, then you do it. If there is nothing you can do, then you allow time to tell. But don't build any monster in your mind that is going to cripple you and stop you from being your best. This is such an important thing for you to understand for life, and especially as an entrepreneur, because there's so many things that would be thrown at you, so many decisions that you have to take. And when fear is staring you in the face, or you take decisions out of fear of something that has not actually happened, something that you are imagining may happen, what is going to happen is you may take the wrong decision. So make sure that you understand how fear appears and how you're going to be dealing with it on this entrepreneurial journey. That's the way everyone is doing it. We're doing it even though we are afraid, because we know how to manage the fear. As an entrepreneur, everything that you do, you're trying your very best to do it right. Now, if you entertain fear or you allow fear to lead some of the things that you do, the problem you're going to be faced with is that you're not going to be able to do things right. And it's from the very simple things to the complex of things. That's why you need to understand the fundamental of dealing with fear. Fear will not let you do things right. You're not going to be able to think on your feet well. You are going to be confused because you are thinking of the possibility of things that haven't happened. Now, I'm doing well and taking my time to repeat this over and over again because I need you to understand how fear plays on our mind and the fact that it is truly something that hasn't happened. It is just because we imagine, and when we are imagining, we imagine the worst. So sometimes the way I deal with it is I imagined the best instead of the worst. Rather than imagining that things will go wrong, why don't you imagine that it's going to go right? It's going to go the way you are expecting. It's going to go the way that the client wants it to go. You are not going to make the mistakes you are imagining. You start imagining that you're going to make this mistake, and then when you make the mistake, the client will be unhappy, and this will go wrong, and that will go wrong, and that's all you're thinking about. And then you realize you're not functioning in your capacity properly. But imagine if you're thinking that, oh, I did the event even though I was afraid, but this happened. The things arrived on time. I delivered to the client on time. We set up on time. Everything was done according to plan. That's going to give you a better energy as you execute the work that you do. So remember that fear is false evidence that appears real. Deal with the real issues rather than allowing fear to cloud your thinking and stop you from doing what you have to do. That brings us to the end of today's conversation. Go out there and do whatever it is that you have set out to do, and do it afraid. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure that today is the day you subscribe, and tell all your friends, your family, tell them to come and listen to this amazing lady who shares tips on how you can build and grow your own business. That's it for today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.